Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to talk about movies and horror. And today I'm here to talk to you about the movie The Offering.
It's coffee time!
The Offering is a movie I didn't really even know it was coming out, and then I saw the trailers in the cinema and I was like, I need to watch this movie. It looks really interesting to me. It immediately gave me the Vigil vibes, and we don't get so much like Jewish horror, so I was really excited for this one. Today we're going to talk about the movie, spoiler free, and I'll let you know at the end if it's worth your time or not. The Offering is a horror mystery thriller directed by Oliver Parks. He was a British actor and now has started directing after having some successful shorts. He has finally debuted with The Offering, that is his first feature film. In the wake of a young Jewish girl's disappearance, the son of a Hasidic funeral director returns home with his pregnant wife in hopes of reconciling with his father. Little do they know that directly beneath them in the family morgue, an ancient evil with sinister plans for the unborn child lurks inside a mysterious corpse. What I really enjoyed about this movie is that they are combining these older, more conservative family roots with a more modern family. So we have here different generations of the same family that have different values when it comes to religion, and the family here is kind of the main point, the main structure that carries the whole film. It's also about the different types of love that exists in the same family, you know, between a father and a son, between, you know, this guy and his wife. So there's a lot of different kind of family dynamics that come here into play. Our main character, Art, has not seen his father for a very long time. As a viewer, you still don't know why they had a fight or why they stopped talking to each other, but Art has come kind of to fix a relationship with his father before his kid is born. His wife Claire is heavily pregnant and they decide to go to visit his dad and try to rekindle the relationship and kind of talk to him and try to save that relationship between the father and the son. The family home where Art and Claire are staying is also basically the morgue because that's the family business. So you can imagine how creepy that can be, and that is also part of why this movie reminded me at times to The Vigil, which is another Jewish horror movie that I really enjoyed. The movie centers not just about the family business, it's also about religion, and it's also about the occult forces. So there's a lot of interesting topics that come into play. With the family, we also have grief and denial and a lot of different things that are gonna come up. So I feel like this movie is also a lot more of a drama horror because of all of that kind of baggage that all the family members are carrying with them and all the secrets that they have. The Offering is giving us basically a different approach when it comes to religion and horror because we have here Jewish characters and we have really cool folklore, and I really love that because we've seen so many like Christian religion based horror movies with demons. Like, we have so many of those. I'm embracing now different things, and this movie at least gave me a lot of interesting things that I had not seen before, especially when it comes to the folklore. The movie already starts, you know, showing you a room full with candles and symbols, so you already know that somebody here is playing with the dark forces, is playing with the occult, and those things, you know, that they never tend to go right. This one in particular follows the myth of Abizo. This is the myth and folklore of the Near East and Europe, and Abizo is the name of a female demon. Abizo was blamed for miscarriages and infant mortality and was said to be motivated by envy as she herself wasn't fertile. The house is an amazing setting. It is a 19th century building from New York, Brooklyn, New York, and it looks amazing on the inside. And one of my favorite things about the movie is as the movie progresses and as, you know, the occult comes a little bit more to the surface, the house starts a little bit to feel more like rundown, more deteriorated as we keep going through the film. I really love the sets. I feel like the production design, the sets, Everything was so well, it was so beautiful. That was one of my favorite parts about this film. You see like all the different like candles, religious symbols, you see all the different portraits. There was so much attention paid to detail. The cinematography was amazing. I feel like that added so much when it comes to the atmosphere and the tone of the film. The floral wallpapers, the wooden furniture, is like, it just felt so real. And all of these like yellowish lights and all of these, it almost felt as well like all of these helped our main character to feel like taken back to his childhood and kind of relieve some of his childhood trauma as well. The characters in this film have a lot that they are going through. It doesn't matter which one of them it is, they all are going through something traumatic at the moment. I feel like they did such a good job at basically helping to connect the family members' state of mind, the things that they were going through with the sets. I think they did a great job. When it comes to the horror, I feel like the director knows really well how to pace the film. It is quite a slow-paced movie, but the director really knows when he can pull the rug under us. I feel like if you've seen a lot of horror movies, there's a lot of elements and stuff that you're gonna see coming, obviously. But I still feel like they did such a good job with the horror in this movie. And I was sitting in the cinema next to a girl that was screaming, jumping, hugging the person next to her. She was not having a good time. She was terrified. So you can say, you know, that is quite effective for people that are maybe not horror goers like regular people. So it did work. He took basically your classic old-fashioned ghost story and he turned it into something a little bit more complex because he added all the elements of the folklore, the religion, and the family drama that we are going through. The director keeps a lot the focus on the characters, so that means that you are more prone to care for them. You establish kind of a relationship with them. You don't want them to get hurt. And in this movie, I think he did such a good job at also surprising the audience here and there. There's a couple of twists. You might see them coming or not, but I feel like they did a good job with giving us not just one twist. There's of course some jump scares and you kind of can tell when they're coming because, you know, the music is getting low and you already know when it's coming. I knew when it was coming. The girl next to me knew when it was coming. And when she knew something was gonna happen, she already was like at the edge of her seat because she knew. So even though, you know, the jump scares are kind of effective and, you know, some were more tropey than others, but I feel like they were still working for the audience. I do have to say there is a little bit of CGI in this movie and it might not have been perfect, but it didn't really bother me at all. I feel like even though this movie has some cheap thrills like some jump scares and some CGI and stuff, I feel like because of the story, because of the characters and all the folklore that it went into this film, that is why this movie actually worked for me, because I was really invested. I wanted to know more. I was really interested because it was not, again, one of those Christian demon movies that I've seen over and over again. So I was really invested with the characters and I was just really interested to learn more about their religion, about their traditions, about these folklore tales. So I ended up giving the movie a 3.5 out of 5. I feel like this was surprisingly a really good watch. I left the movie quite satisfied and I feel like even though it does focus a little bit on the family drama, all the horror elements worked really well for me. The film is ambitious and entertaining and I do recommend you guys to go and give it a watch if you can, if it's running somewhere next to you, because it does keep you involved in the plot and the story, and I really feel like not every horror movie that I watch has me so intrigued and interested up to the very end. A lot of horror movies that I watch, by the midpoint, I'm already a little bit tired of it because I already know everything that's coming. It's things I've seen 100 times before and some movies just stop working for me. But with this one I felt like I was invested to the very end. Alright guys, so this was my spoiler-free review on The Offering. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you knew about the movie, if you've seen it. I would recommend it to you guys, especially if you watched The Vigil and enjoyed it. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!